The night air was thick with mist as Emily drove down the winding dirt road, the headlights of her old sedan barely cutting through the darkness. She had heard the rumors, whispers of a witch doctor living alone in the deep woods beyond the village of Marrow's End, but the thrill of the unknown had drawn her here. Her curiosity outweighed her fear, and the camera in the passenger seat would document everything. After all, she told herself, some things were meant to be explored. As she turned off the main road onto a narrower trail, the trees seemed to close in on her, their skeletal branches clawing at the sky. The GPS signal flickered, then disappeared entirely. Emily's heart pounded, but she forced herself to focus on the destination. A hut said to hold ancient secrets, curses, and perhaps even a glimpse into the dark magic of the witch doctor himself. The locals had called him a madman, a sorcerer who spoke to spirits, but Emily thought of him as a story waiting to be told. The hut appeared suddenly, as if it had risen from the ground itself. It was small, crooked, and made of dark, rotting wood. Smoke curled lazily from a crooked chimney, and faint chanting could be heard through the night. Emily parked and stepped out, her boots sinking into the damp earth. The air was pungent with herbs, smoke, and something else she couldn't identify, a metallic tang that made her stomach twist. She swallowed and approached the hut cautiously. Inside, the flickering light of candles revealed a room cluttered with strange objects. Skulls, jars filled with unidentifiable substances, and symbols etched into the walls with red powder. A figure emerged from the shadows. A woman, old and hunched, with eyes black as coal and a presence that seemed to absorb the light. "You shouldn't be here," the witch doctor hissed, her voice like dry leaves scraping across stone. Emily raised her camera, but the woman's gaze seemed to pierce through it, making her tremble. I just wanted to learn," Emily stammered. "To document your practices, to understand." The witch doctor studied her for a long moment before nodding slowly. "Curiosity is a dangerous thing, especially in this place, especially at night." She gestured toward a large cauldron simmering in the center of the room. The air was thick with an intoxicating aroma, a mixture of herbs and something far older and darker. Emily felt herself drawn toward it, her logical mind warning her to stop, but her fascination pushing her forward. "What is this?" Emily asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "It is the essence of what lies between life and death," the witch doctor replied. "A bridge, a gift, a curse. It is all in one." She moved closer, her movements slow but deliberate, and handed Emily a small vial filled with a dark liquid that shimmered with an unnatural light. "Drink, and you will see. But beware, seeing comes with a price." Emily hesitated. The rational part of her screamed to run, but the storyteller inside her urged her to seize the moment. With a trembling hand, she took the vial and drank. The liquid was bitter, burning as it slid down her throat, and for a moment, everything went black. Then, visions assaulted her mind. She saw herself standing in the woods, surrounded by spirits that whispered secrets and threats alike. The trees seemed alive, twisting and writhing. She saw faces, some human, some grotesque, pressing against invisible barriers, screaming silently. The witch doctor's voice echoed in her ears. "Once you see, you cannot unsee." Emily stumbled back, clutching her head. The hut around her seemed to pulse, breathing in rhythm with her own heartbeat. Shadows moved with intent, crawling along the walls, reaching for her. Panic surged as she turned to flee, but the door slammed shut. She was trapped. "You have entered the realm of the unseen," the witch doctor said calmly. "Now you belong to it." Hours, or maybe minutes, time had lost meaning, passed as Emily wandered through shifting corridors of darkness and flickering candlelight. The visions grew more vivid. She saw her own face twisted in terror, her hands grasping at something intangible. She felt the pull of another presence, a malevolent force that promised both knowledge and destruction. Every corner she turned revealed more horrors. Cages filled with shadowed creatures, walls etched with eyes that blinked and followed her every move, and symbols that seemed to rearrange themselves when she wasn't looking. In the midst of the chaos, she heard a soft voice calling her name. "Emily," it whispered. She followed it, drawn toward a small door at the far end of the hut. Inside, she found a young girl, perhaps 8 or 9, with long black hair and eyes that reflected her own fear. "They've trapped me here," the girl said, tears streaking her pale face. "Please help me." Emily reached out, but as her hand touched the girl, the rune dissolved into smoke. She found herself alone in the forest, the hut gone, the mist thick and suffocating. And then she saw them, eyes glowing in the dark, circling her, waiting. The witch doctor's laughter echoed through the trees, a sound that promised she would never truly leave. When she finally stumbled back to the village, dawn was breaking. Her camera, now cracked and blackened, lay in her hands, and the footage it contained was a chaotic blur of shadows, whispers, and movement. She knew no one would believe her. She knew she would never return to that place. But deep inside, she felt the pull, the lingering presence of the unseen, and she understood that some doors, once opened, could never be closed. That night, when she tried to sleep, the shadows in her room moved slightly, just at the edge of her vision. A whisper called her name, soft but insistent. And Emily realized, with a shiver that ran down her spine, that the house of the witch doctor was not gone. It was inside her now, and one day, it would call her back.